Hi Aries, welcome to Stardust Astrology. This is your monthly forecast for November 2016. And this is actually the first video that I'm sharing on YouTube, so I hope you guys enjoy it, find it useful, and make the most out of it. Let's start. This month looks like a month where in the first half there will be a huge focus on personal relationships, which can be romantic partnerships or business relationships, and I'm going to talk about the both case scenarios. And then in the second half of the month, you will put more focus on your personal reputation, on your social standing, and some changes and advancements or endings are possible in your career field. Now, starting from the 17th of October, the sun has moved into Libra. Libra is the opposite sign to you guys, it's your seventh house. And when the sun moves into our seventh house, we put much more focus, attention, and energy into our relationships, especially if it is in the sign of Libra. And for you guys, whenever it is in the seventh house, it is going to be in the sign of Libra. Now, this is a tricky position because sun is about ourselves, right? When we have to invest so much of ourselves in relationships, things can get a little bit unbalanced. With the sun in Libra, we can feel too much dependent on other people's attitudes towards us to the extent where that can hurt. We can feel that the relationships are especially important to us at this time period, and then at the same time, we do not want to compromise. So there can be scenarios like, I really need this thing from you, but I'm not gonna compromise. You're gonna have to do it my way. And people are like, what? That's not, I mean, you want it from me, but you want me to do it your way? Not gonna happen. And then we start doubting ourselves because, again, this is a period when relationships are so important. Now, Sun naturally rules your fifth house. And the fifth house is a very creative house. We put our children under the governance of the fifth house. We also put our creative projects, our lovers, dates. I would even put one night stands there. All of that, having fun also comes there, playing sports, going to the movies, stuff like that. It all goes into the fifth house. And then when the planet, which rules all of that, comes into your seventh house, maybe it is the time to take it to the next level with someone. Wanting to be serious with someone you're dating. Rahu has been transiting this area of your chart from the end of January 2016 and will be there until August 2017. And with Rahu in the fifth house, you can very easily fall in love. And it is even very logical to become obsessed about someone under such an influence because the people that Rahu will bring in your fifth house in Leo seem like larger than life. This is not necessarily true. You might later find out that they're just people, like anybody else. They have to eat, they have to pee, they smell in the morning, they have their problems. But at the moment, when we fall in love with them, they're so bright, so shiny, so popular, such stars that it is quite easily to fall in love with them. And now the sun, which rules them, comes into the seventh house where we want to take things seriously. To help that, on the 30th of October, there is this new moon in Libra, and it starts a cycle of at least 28 days, if not even 6 months, when we begin something new. A new moon is necessary in any area of our chart to begin new things. It is the time where our masculine and feminine energies come together, and both masculine and feminine energies are necessary for a new life to be born, right? So, something new is about to happen in the area of your partnerships and relationships. Now, look at this little green guy who comes with this new moon in your chart. This is Mercury, which means that the person we are most likely talking about is someone who is very intelligent, someone who has great communication skills, someone who is social, someone who will want to negotiate with you about, the things that any relationship needs to negotiate. So it looks like a month where there will be a lot of talking, a lot of making agreements. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? And the planet that rules this new moon is Venus. It's the pink girl in the 8th house in Scorpio. And she's sitting with Saturn. Now, when Venus is sitting with Saturn, this is a make it or break it situation, and in the 8th house, it can happen very suddenly. Saturn has been preparing the field for you over there in the past 2 years. It has been facing you with a lot of your fears, with a lot of things that where you feel the fear and still have to do it. Feel the fear and still have to go out of your comfort zone. And now, when Venus, who rules this new moon, comes there and joins him, things can really get cemented. Now, let's look at the nakshatra, which is one of the 27 constellations which are behind the zodiac signs. Let's look at the nakshatra, which is ruling this new moon. The nakshatra which is operating behind this part of Libra is called Swati. This is going to give us additional information about what kind of person or partnership you might be dealing with. People who might come to you or with whom you might enter into some more serious negotiations or agreements in this time period are quite likely to be very communicative and very intelligent, open to learn. They might be someone who has great skills in music or literature or art or even acting. Swati is again associated with the planet Rahu, which is currently transiting your 5th house. So to me, this again indicates a potential lover becoming somebody serious with a long-term, relationship. And it might happen all of a sudden, not only because of the influence of the 8th house, but because of the influence of Swati Nakshatra, which is not very grounded. So whatever planets are based in Swati Nakshatra are not very grounded at the beginning. These people are very independent, they are very autonomous, they like to move freely around, like the wind. They begin things by not having found their foundations yet. But as the time progresses, these people tend to find roots and become very stable. And again, since Venus is with Saturn, this really could be the case that something starts a little bit unstable, you have to negotiate it, and then later on it turns into something quite serious. So apart from the things that I've already mentioned, this is someone who could be a good student for those of you who are younger. They could be someone who is patient enough to talk long hours with you. They can be someone who, maybe even someone who is not from your immediate surroundings, because Swati rules moving, a lot of movement, so it could be someone, you know, who just comes to you just like that, but they're not actually living there, or if they're living there, they're moving a lot, they're not tied to one place, and they could be very well educated as well. They in all those movements, they may experience some kind of imbalance, especially in Libra. Libra does look for balance, but let's look at things logically. If we are looking for balance, it means that there is imbalance. And with Libra, it is always like that, because Libra always wants to find that perfect balance. Perfect balance is zeroness, nothingness. When everything is so perfectly balanced, nothing is moving, nothing is happening. It's like things are dead, you know? So there has to be imbalance for Libra to want to go look for look for balance. And the Swati nakshatra is also associated with internet and different kinds of waves, like radio waves, or the waves that our TV channels produce. So this can even be someone that you meet over the internet. With Rahu in the 5th house, it really can be the case, because Rahu in the 5th house also supports that. So we see that the two planets which are ruling this new moon, or this new beginning, are Venus, which rules over the sign of Libra, and Rahu, who is very important for Swati nakshatra. Rahu is in the 5th house. Venus is together with Saturn in the 8th house. So, at some level, this can even bring illegal affairs. It can bring sexual promiscuity. This is not only because of the combination of the 5th and the 8th house. This is also due to the nature of Jyeshta nakshatra. These people, or this Venus, or this person that you might meet, can also be someone who is powerful, someone who has reached a certain position in their profession, someone who is very self-reliant, someone who will even take care of other people. But their weak spot is that they are prone to secret affairs. If this is not them, it could be you, because this is your chart. It's your 7th house, it's your 8th house, your Venus, so you could be starting something serious with someone, but in secrecy. Another trait of this person is that they could be a bit jealous. Or you could be jealous of them, or of the attention that they are getting. This is due to the sign of Scorpio, where this Venus is placed, due to the influence of the 8th house, due to the nature of Jyeshta nakshatra. It really can bring issues of jealousy, and in your 8th house, it can bring you out of your comfort zone. You could have to face your fears in this area, right? Let's say be jealous but still stay with them, or hate people being jealous but still choose to be with them because they have some other qualities. So I don't think this will be a perfectly balanced new beginning, but it can certainly be a very passionate new beginning with the potential to become something long-term. Now, with this, I would like to end the story about romantic relationship, and let's see what can happen if this is affecting your chart in your business life, because seventh house also rules our business partnerships. So similarly, you could enter into a business partnership with someone. This is most likely to be related with some creative project because of the influence of Rahu in your fifth house. So if you have started something creative, like an artistic project, talking about film industry, music industry, anything to do with entertainment industry, anything to do with music, with acting, even opening a school, why not? It can also happen in the fifth house. Anything where you express your creativity, you could be now signing contracts with a partner and making it something really long lasting. You guys could even have an account together, like let's say if you form a company together, there could be a shared account with this Venus and Saturn in the eighth house. And in this case, I don't think that this will come as an enormous surprise. It will be something that started, let's say, a potential for this started maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half, up to 2 months ago. But now you're suddenly signing papers. You are bringing the negotiations to the peak, to the high level. And yes, there is a high potential for signing a long-term business contract with someone with these kinds of positions, especially with Ketu in your 11th house. There could be some issues with money, could have been some issues with your income lately. Venus also rules your second house of earned income. It is now in the eighth house together with the Saturn. So to me, that also indicates the potential for mutual funds and an account that you hold together with somebody else. For you guys who have children, and the children are grown up, there really can be this scenario where they're moving away, leaving house, whether it is for college or finding a place to work or something like that. When the sun, who rules your fifth house, goes into Libra, which is a movable sign, the sign that indicates movement, and Leo is in the fifth house, which means that your children have been going through some turbulences and personal developments lately. There have been issues where you needed to concentrate on your children in the past, well, I would say from the beginning of 2016. This could be the month that they are moving away. This could also be the month that they are starting to learn to play a new instrument with this kind of sky, or they could be starting to learn acting or enrolling into some kind of course. All of this could bring some changes in the area of security of your children and changes in the area of their residence for you guys who have grown-up children. And one more thing that I see, and which I forgot to mention when I spoke about romantic relationship, is that some of you guys maybe got pregnant lately, and that suddenly you will be deciding to go into marriages because of this, or maybe not wild marriages, but like moving in together or deciding to plan something together. Even if there are marriages this month, I think that they will be more of smaller private parties or something something like a ritual where you know, go somewhere and do it on the beach in the privacy with not too many people there. Something that is not so visible and obvious to the others, because again, the ruling planet of this new moon is in your eighth house. One more thing that can happen here is that you could sign contracts which are related to some kind of charity work. Something that, for example, let's say you will sponsor or you will find sponsors for your charity projects. This is also possible with this kind of sky. So with this, let's finish the part with this new moon and move on to see what other planets are doing in your chart during the month of November. The most important planet for us to focus on for you guys is Mars, because Mars rules you, and wherever Mars goes, that's where you will invest the most of your energy. And energy is hugely important to you guys. You are energetic people. Only during this new moon in Libra, the Mars was in the last degrees of Sagittarius, and the last degrees are impatient. This is where you think, okay, I'm done with this. Now I want to move on. And where does the Aries want to move? To the career and your social status. So starting from the 1st of November, you guys will be applying a lot of effort and a lot of energy to improve your social status or to be promoted in your career. If you have your own businesses, this will be the time to invest a lot of effort in your businesses, apply a lot of energy there. And since the 10th house is in Capricorn and Saturn, who rules Capricorn, is in the 8th house of changes, it really is a great time to change something about your business or to change something about your career. Now, since Mars is in the house of Saturn and Saturn is in the house of Mars, Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, these two guys are going to cooperate. So this is a great time period to invest your energy in improving and changing something about your career. I cannot see a better period coming in, well, quite a while, so please use it. While Mars is there, this will be happening from the 1st of November to the 11th of December this year. And Mars is doing great in the 10th house, so you guys will be patient enough to do whatever needs to be done out there in the world, in your career place. You will be perceived as very let's say executive oriented at your workplace. This Mars at this time is moving through the nakshatra which is called Uttarashata nakshatra, and it is again one strong powerful warrior nakshatra because it also has the influence of sun. And if you work with a team during this time period, this really can lead to some serious success. Also, if you guys are thinking about starting a new business, this nakshatra is very good for that. Simultaneously, Jupiter in your 6th house is supporting this. Jupiter is looking at the 10th house and supporting the expansion at your workplace. Jupiter is doing that from Hasta Nakshatra, which has this special ability to help you take what you want and place it in your hands, as we said. With this position of Mars in the 10th house, you will have the energy and drive to complete whatever you start. You will be organized, you will be well directioned or having a strong direction. You will be, let's say, clever enough and energetic enough to deal with all the challenges that might present themselves during this period. This is generally great for people who work for government, for people who work as lawyers or judges. Also, for people who work in army, military, security services, defense services, especially with this influence of the eighth house here, again, great period for all kinds of business executives, organizers. Also, good time for people who are working in the fields of education as teachers or professors or counselors. Also great period for them. If you are involved into any kind of research work and you need to showcase your research work, and maybe now is the time period when this gets applied or rewarded, it's also a great period for that, because we have Saturn in your 8th house and Mercury is joining the Saturn in the 8th house from the 9th of November. This will give you a very, very penetrating mind and the ability to do research in depth with Saturn also there. This could be something that really becomes final during this period of time. You could be a bit gloomy as well, because this combination can make us a bit moody. But again, if you're not surfing the surface, if you're going deep enough in whatever you do, hey, there are things to be discovered there which are not all pinky and airy and cloudy, right? Sun will also be joining these two guys in your 8th house from the 16th of November. So really the second half of the month is great for doing any kind of research work, for doing work behind the scenes. If you had problems in your married life, this is the great time to do counseling. It might not be so comfortable, but it surely will make it clear where the problem is and what needs to be done to fix this. From the 9th of November, Venus moves into Sagittarius. Venus rules your 2nd house and your 7th house, so this may signify business with strangers, money coming from abroad, especially with these with the 10th and the 8th house activated. I can see this coming for you guys. For you guys who maybe got married this month, this is a great month to go on your honeymoon or travel somewhere. For you guys who are doing some kind of research or who have been involved in a bigger project which were not so out in the open yet, you know. When we say behind the scenes, what is behind the scenes? Well, everything that you research has to be behind the scenes for some time, right? You do not research stuff and then put every little bit that you find out in the open. You do that for some time, then when the project is finished, you present it. Now, this can be a great time to do something like that. And in the middle of the month, on the 14th of November, is the time where you should really see the results, because there will be a full moon in Aries, and this is a very specific full moon, and it is happening in the nakshatra of Kritika, and Kritika only rules the last several degrees of Aries, from 26.40 Aries until the end of Aries. So if you guys have your ascendant in the last 4 degrees of Aries, or your moon or sun in the last 4 degrees of Aries, this is really going to affect you. Full moon in Aries brings all eyes on you, and you get the results of whatever you have been doing. But this full moon in the last degrees of Aries also brings a sense of urgency. And you guys who have your positions here know this. Everything can be urgent. I need to do this quickly. I want to get it over with. This is also a great position for achievements. People with placements here can be huge achievers. You guys are self-assertive. Some of you can be supremely self-confident. you like to get a lot of attention and can actually be famous, not in the sense of celebrities, although I'm not saying you cannot be celebrities, you certainly can, but you can be famous in the business community, in your professional um, field. And when there is a full moon, you're really thrown in the spotlight, and you're going to love this because you guys like to be in the spotlight. You like to make decisions, and this will be time to make decisions, and it can be time to make decisions quickly. There will be a lot of activity around this area, and since this is affecting you, there will be so much to do. This is not a good time to rest. Maybe you will even be so overworked that it will be hard to get some rest. You know, those periods when you work so much, and a lot of things are happening, and then even when you want to get some rest, you can't because your mind is racing and your body is all full of adrenaline. Now, this is one of those time periods, so don't blame it on yourself. Don't try too hard to rest. Push. Now is the time to push forward. Now is the time to achieve things, and later there will be a time for rest. Also, not new full moon is taking place in the area where people are perfectionists. So this, when I say that you guys are self-confident and that you get a lot of attention, this is not undeserved attention. You guys are perfectionists. You want to be very precise in the work that you do. You have an amazing willpower, and with this kind of, these kinds of, let's say, personal traits, well, your attention and the fame will come with a reason. Another trait that this nakshatra shows is a lot of independence. Very, very independent people, very rash and direct people. So again, great time to start your own businesses or to improve your own businesses, start new big projects in the society. But this can be a bit troublesome for relationships, because if you are this precise, this perfectionist, this driven, another side of that is short temper, a sharp tongue, which can lead to quarrels. So it's just something that you want to bear in mind if you want to maintain good relationships with your partners, although this full moon is not very supportive of let's say balanced negotiations and putting other people before us and being diplomatic. No, this is the time to make sharp decisions and to be rash and direct, to push and to achieve. Okay, so just try not to apply too much of those tendencies to your near and dear ones. It's much better to direct them to your career fields, because this is the area where you can have results now. If you are working in service industry, this is a great month for promotions or improving your business. Also for those of you guys who are, let's say, hairdressers or chefs, or you guys who do anything with sharp objects, so any kind of job that has to do with scissors, with knives, with cutting, with needles, let's say surgeons as well can be seen from this. This is a great month to be promoted or to improve your own businesses. If you need the support from your team, you will probably have it. Now, since this full moon is also falling in your first house, which has to do with the way you look in your physical body, this could be the time when you guys decide to change something about the way you look, and it can be good for any kind of let's say beautician procedures which have to do with, you know, needles, like doing mesotherapy or getting your facial treatment where the needles have to be done. It's also great for getting a haircut, but it can be dangerous in the sense that you just have to be careful not to cut yourself, because with this kind of position and Mars looking at this new moon, there is this possibility. So just be careful of that. Okay, guys, the last 2 weeks of November are going to see the situation calming down. So starting from the new moon, we have this culmination and development. Then the full moon on the 14th will give us results. And then the next 2 weeks we'll see the situation calming down a little bit. I'm not saying that you won't be working. You will. This is the time period to work and to push and to be active. But it will be like something reaches its peak, and now, okay, everything is out on the clear. We have done the most part of the work, and we can now calmly continue doing what needs to be done. The next lunar cycle is starting on November the 29th. So your December horoscope will be a lot affected by this new moon, which is happening on November the 29th. Maybe you will see some indications of what is going to happen at the end of November, not just waiting for the December to start, for those of you who are more sensitive to the lunar cycles. But I will see you before that. Until then, take care, make the most out of your November, because it really is a great month for achievements. And well, I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.